Hey guys, how's it going? Killer Cam Fit here, and today in this episode of Battlegrounds and Fitness, I'm going to be covering a topic that I think each and every one of us has given some small thought to: how to lose fat, oh snap, and gain lean muscle mass. Let's get into it, guys. Just going to get straight into this. How do we lose weight and gain lean muscle mass, right? It's something that seems to baffle so many people, but truth be told, it's actually very similar to that of getting a 2.2K achievement, a 2.4K achievement, or even a gladiator title in World of Warcraft. They both require the exact same thing. That's consistency, perseverance, and you have to be willing to learn from your past mistakes. Now, a lot of times, like so many people embark on this like weight loss journey, and they're like, yeah, you know what, I'm gonna do it this time, I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna lose 10 pounds, I'm gonna lose 15 pounds, 20 pounds, whatever your goal may be. And sadly, they don't reach it, and then they just give up. They tell themselves all these excuses of why they couldn't do it, like, oh, it's my mom was in bad shape, my dad was in bad shape, I have bad genetics. And it's not true. I don't care who you are, you can do it. All it takes is what I said earlier: consistency, perseverance, and be willing to learn from past mistakes. Alright guys, so now I'm going to actually go over the typical mistakes that people first experience when they actually decide to lose weight. One, you're doing too much cardio. You're doing way too much cardio. So many people think that cardio is the answer, especially girls. Cardio is not the answer, because what we want to focus in on is high quality weight loss. Now, in order to get high quality weight loss, we have to have a high amount of fat loss while retaining as much lean muscle tissue as possible. So what ends up happening when you do all this cardio, cardio. You're not promoting any muscle growth whatsoever. Now, muscle, a lot of times referring primarily to girls in this point, think that muscle is the enemy. Like, oh no, if I have muscle, I'm going to look bulky. And what actually happens when you gain lean muscle mass and lose fat, you actually start to shrink. Now, the reason you're shrinking is because, let's say you have 5 pounds of lean muscle, right? And 5 pounds of fat. What's going to be the difference between the two? What's the difference? They both weigh 5 pounds. 5 pounds of muscle, 5 pounds of fat. Now the difference is going to be in density and volume, or volume. Muscle is going to be about 2 times as dense as fat. So applying that concept onto your body, if you gain muscle weight, right, and lose fat, even though your scale weight doesn't fluctuate drastically, there are going to be drastic dimensional changes that occur in your body, right? Because muscle is 2 times as dense. So you literally start to shrink. So right there, one, muscle is not the enemy. We want to promote muscle growth. Now, going back to what I said before, cardio, doing too much cardio. Like, cardio bunnies, no, stay away from cardio, guys. Everything in moderation, I should say. You can do like about 15 minutes, like 15 to 20 minutes tops on cardio. Anything above that, you're doing way too much. Now, what ends up happening with a lot of people is that they think that their scale weight determines their success, and that's not true. It's not true. I don't want you to be focused in on losing weight. Like, no, we want to focus in on having high quality weight loss. So that again requires us to lose primarily fat as opposed to just dropping as much weight as possible. Because there's going to be 3 major components to your scale weight, right? Or 3 major manageable components. That's going to be muscle, fat, and water. Now, anyone can lose 10 pounds of water weight in like a week. Like, probably even like 2 or 3 days. You can lose water weight like that. But just as you can lose it like that, you can get it right back. So that's not really going to be high quality weight loss, right? Because if you can get it back at the flick of a wrist, like, come on. Now, another one is going to be losing a lot of muscle. Surprisingly, your body will actually lose muscle faster than it would fat. And the reasoning for that is because your body is extremely adaptive. So once your body notices, okay, you're doing all this cardio. What does cardio do? It burns off calories, and calories is essentially the body's energy source, right? So what ends up happening your body's going to say, you know what? Cardio isn't physically challenging or demanding. It just requires so much energy. How can I get more energy? And then it's actually going to see muscle as the enemy at this point, because muscle, just having 5 to 10 pounds of muscle, increases the amount of calories you need to function on a day-to-day. Because this, again, is a passive benefit of having lean muscle tissue. The more lean muscle tissue you have, the more calories you burn passively. Like, you could literally sit down, watch Netflix all day, and if you had a lot of muscle, your body would burn a crap ton more calories as opposed to someone that has never worked out in their life. And due to that, you doing all this cardio, your body starts breaking away the little muscle tissue you already do have. Now, this is setting you up for failure in the long run. Let me explain. So, view muscle essentially as a buffer, right? It's a buffer that prevents you from gaining weight like drastically, extremely fast. So let's say you have 10 pounds of muscle, and that's going to increase your body's passive ability to burn off calories by 500, right? So just having 10 pounds of muscle, you can burn off an extra 500 calories a day. Now what ends up happening, you do all this cardio, your body's like, man, let's get rid of this muscle. So you are essentially breaking apart your body's buffering wall of burning off an extra 500 calories a day, so you can do an extra hour of cardio to burn off an extra 600 calories a day. Now what ends up happening, you lose all that muscle, and then the moment you stop doing all this cardio, you no longer have a buffer, right? And then boom, you gain weight drastically. And it happens to people all the time. They're like, wow, man, I was doing so good. I lost all this weight, and I had like one slipped up, and I gained like 5 pounds. Like, how did this happen? That's why. You have no muscle. Muscle is your buffer. I'm sure you've probably seen guys like this, and it's just like, wow, they can eat whatever they want, and they don't gain a freaking pound. How do they do that? Because they have so much lean muscle tissue that it is essentially giving them a buffer. Like, muscle is like a cheat code, you know? So, yeah, the main fact I'm trying to get across here is that we want to focus in on having a workout routine and actually going to the gym and using weight training. Because when you start incorporating a lot of weight training, that's going to promote, go figure, muscle growth. And the more lean muscle tissue you have, that's the answer to weight loss right there. The easier it is for you to lose weight, and you're going to lose it passively. Like, imagine that you going to sleep, you're losing weight. You just watching Netflix, you playing WoW, and you're losing weight. Like, boom, I just killed a freaking orc because I'm a night elf. Okay? So yeah, I just killed an orc. Boom, I burned 5 calories while doing that. Like, that's awesome. We want that. So you have to start doing a lot more weight training. And that is actually the answer for weight loss. I know, right? It's crazy. Like, muscle growth, answer is weight loss. Now on to the next question. How do you gain lean muscle mass? Honestly, at first it's very easy. Like, for people just to see like those beginner gains, I like to call them. They start working out, and boom, they gain like 5, 10, 15 pounds of muscle. It's like, yeah, this is great. And then after that, they become stagnant, and they don't see any results. And they're just like, why am I not gaining muscle? What's happening? And going back to what I mentioned before, the more lean muscle mass you have, the more calories your body can burn passively, right? Now, your body is extremely conservative. I'll say conservative and adaptive in nature. Now, what does that mean? Your body is adaptive in the sense that once you start working out, it's saying, you know what? I need to change. I need to adapt to this situation. I need to gain more lean muscle mass. But it's conservative in the fact that it will do it at a relatively slow rate, and it's going to be almost hesitant in adding any additional muscle tissue, because it knows for each pound of muscle it adds, the more calories will be needed in order for it to function on a day-to-day basis. And your body doesn't want to have a high energy requirement. It doesn't like it. So in order for you to first understand exactly why the body is so hesitant to really adding additional lean muscle mass, I want you guys to understand exactly how the brain views muscle tissue. And for you to gain a greater understanding of that, I'm going to apply this concept to you guys. So imagine muscle tissue as this sounds kind of crazy, but imagine muscle tissue as some random guy that just shows up to your house one day and he just starts cleaning your house for you. You don't know who he is, but you're playing WoW, and he's cleaning your house while you're raiding. It's like what? This is freaking awesome, right? So that right there is how muscle works. Your body doesn't really mind having it around as long as it's doing something, right? It's like, yeah, he's cleaning. It's cool. Now, after he's done cleaning, he's actually going to go straight into the fridge, and he starts eating some food, and you're like, man, he's eating my food. But you know what? He did work, so he deserves it. Again, exactly how the body views muscle. As long as you're exercising and you're really creating that urgency and the value for that lean muscle tissue, your body's like, you can stay, you're cool, we're good. But now, over the course of the week, he keeps on doing this, right? And then one day he finishes, well, he comes to your house and he doesn't clean at all. He doesn't clean anything. And he just goes straight into the fridge and he starts eating your food. And then you're like, okay, maybe he's changing the routine or something. Like maybe he's gonna eat first and then clean. And you're still doing your raid, and then next thing you know, you hear the door closed, and then you get up. It's like he didn't clean anything, and then he keeps on doing this, right? He doesn't do any work whatsoever. He just shows up at your house and he starts eating your food. He's not really gaining his value, right? And that is exactly how the body views it. And eventually, what are you going to do? You're going to say, okay, man, I don't want you in my house anymore. You can't come in. You're gone. Goodbye. And the body does the exact same thing. Whenever you stop exercising, or if your exercise routine has become like pretty much the same thing over and over, your body gets accustomed to it. It's already adapted to what was the previous stressor. It's used to it. So it no longer sees the value to grow, right? And then you plateau. You don't see any more results, or your body actually starts losing lean muscle mass because it doesn't see the need of keeping that muscle mass around because it's feeding it all of its food and it's not doing anything. So in order for you to have a really successful, in order for you to keep being successful in your muscle gaining or fat loss journey, you have to keep applying variations in your exercises. Now, variations can vary from increasing the overall weight, increasing the reps, doing the tempo, like slowing it down. All these are definitely powerful tools in order to keep your body from plateauing. It's just the sad fact of the matter is people don't really know much when it comes to working out. So they just do the same thing over and over and over. And naturally, as you keep doing the same thing over and over, you get better and better at it. And as you get better at it, sadly, your body no longer sees the need to grow muscle for that specific task. I know, right? A conundrum. So what I actually did for you guys, I actually created a workout plan for each and every one of you. And it's free. There's nothing. I get nothing from this. Literally, I just made a workout plan for you guys to follow down. It's down in the description. I'm going to leave a link for it. Just click that and give that workout a try. It's gonna be pretty freaking awesome, I think. It's gonna be pretty freaking awesome. And give me some feedback on that. Now, I actually plan on doing several videos in this series. Just give me some feedback, and again, tell me what you all think about this video. If you guys liked it, if you found it informative. And for my next video, just actually give me ask me a question. What do you want me to do? Do you want me to do a video going over why carbs are bad? Do you want me to do a video going over like ketogenic diet? Anything, just ask me and I will make that video for you. And until then, guys, have a great one, and thank you for subscribing and liking this video, because I'm sure you did it. I'm sure you did it, right, guys? All right, take care, man.
Blue base is under attack. Blue team wins the match.